here. Get this pop up. There we go. Get that on, and we get the live chat up here. We are on the air. Happy New Year, guys. Let's see. We got Dave Stafford on here. Good evening, Steve. Thanks for letting me know about today's streaming. Only ever had one previous opportunity to chat part of the live stream. Let's see. Sinfuls is on board. He's our moderator for the night. Hello, all. Welcome to 2024. Humanity has made it another year. Ha ha ha. Let 2024 be a prosperous for all. Let's see. We got about 4 people up here. 5 people. It's going to start popping up here in a minute. We've actually been doing a bunch of different stuff this week I want to talk about a little bit, and it's actually been working out pretty good. I've been reading a lot of articles and stuff like that fit expats, and I wanted to do a lot of those articles. I've been going through them and seeing if any of them fit expats, and there is actually a lot of stuff that does fit expats. Life is Good is on board. Hi from Bakersfield, California. And so we're up to 18 people, so if anybody wants to start shooting questions on here, I'm game for just about anything tonight. Let's see. We can, except for politics. Let's see. Sep315. Hey, Stevie. Greetings from Germany. How you doing, Sep? We just had a fella here today named Bernie who just joined our group. He's from Germany. We got Wayne Gruber. Good evening, Steve. How you doing, Wayne? Let's see. Who else we got on here tonight? A lot of guys watch the live stream on their big screen TVs, and I guess they can't talk or answer, but they just watch our stuff. We're up to 25 now, so let's get some chat on here. Bob Capro, hello from Vegas. Welcome aboard. We're just getting started up here, guys. So once we start rolling here, things start going. Lolo's Log. Lolo's on board. Good morning from San Diego. Coming over there for good next week. There we go, Lolo. I actually went to cook school out in San Diego. Philip Cartmel. Hi, Steve from Talamban. You don't have a name. Hello, I.O. There we go. Who else we got on here? We're up to 29. We're moving tonight, so this would be a good one tonight. Should be. Sinful says, yes, I watch on big TV and listen through my stereo, but wow, through my PC. Brent DeWitt. Good morning from Michigan. Good evening to you. Hope to be there in March. Michael L. is on board, another one of our moderators. We got 2 moderators on board. That's good. Greetings and good evening. Sean Andrews from Atlanta, Georgia here. There we go. 35 people. We're moving quick tonight. Let's see who we can get on here. Let's start. MF says, Happy New Year, Brian. Sitzma says, Brian Sitzma, San Antonio, Texas, just checking this out. Dave Stafford is currently based in Pensacola, Florida, but originally from Liverpool, UK. Okay. Hello from Zamboigna, JC in USA. Rex Laughlin, good morning from Indiana. So we got a good check-in here today. Let's see. Let's start getting some questions on here. I just bought another baseball card the other day. I collect counterfeits of the Honus Wagner card. It's a pretty cool one, too, that I got. I'll show this off while I'm on here, just for something until we get started here, get some questions on here. And this is it right here, guys. It's kind of a nice one. Looks pretty cool. But anyway, we'll get back to this here. Michael also is back in the States, returned to snow in Middle America. So let's get some chat on here tonight, guys. You guys can talk about anything you want, pretty much. This week I was talking with a guy from the embassy, and I'm going to be a volunteer liaison with the embassy for Cavite area and helping out people in the Cavite area. Whatever the embassy asks me to do, I'll be helping them do things and emergency stuff. It's kind of a different thing. I know some of the other vloggers have been asked to do that, and it's kind of a cool thing. Not a big deal, but I mean, it helps the embassy a little bit, and it also helps us to be able to reach out to the embassy, and if we have any problems or expat has a problem, I have a direct link into the embassy, which is kind of nice to have. You don't have a name, says Alabama. Let's see. Michael, let's see. Sinful says, Michael else. LOL, sorry, you don't have a name. My ex, 3.5 years. See, please help me. Philip Cartmel, I didn't see you at the Dawton Beach cleanup yesterday. Lolo's Log, when's the next get together? The 31st. The 31st, we will be at Evia Mall at Texas Roadhouse. You don't have a name, says, and the risk of LDR. I'm not sure what you're talking about, man. My ex, 3.5 years. See, please help me. And I don't know what you're talking about, man. Sorry. Uh, but what's up to 40? Let's see who else we got on here. Type your name in and where you're from. This would be interesting. Let's see. Mike LL says, okay, I have a question. How does the Dumagetti crowd make their 40-year age gap relationships work? Every time I date a 20-year-old, unless they are in the sciences, have maturity issues. That's a good question, because I don't think they do make it work after a while. I know some of them that do, and some of them that don't. I've talked to a few guys down there, and they do have their hard times down there with some of the girls. They do have big breakups and bad ones too, that end up in court. You don't have a name, says long-term relationship. RLV PH December inflation 3.9% from November 4.1%. Yeah, inflation, man, that's actually not that bad considering. Philip Carmel says, is there a meet and greet on February 22nd? No, there is not. I'm not sure where you're getting that from. That's not from me. The one that we're having is going to be on the 31st at 1:30 p.m. Evia Mall, Texas Roadhouse. And if you're going to go, let me know, please. Email me at steven5975@yahoo.com. Philip Cotmel, I'm 70, she's 34. It's been 12 years. That's not bad. You're lucky. Some of them work out and some of them don't. It depends on a lot of things. I think it depends on the EQ of the girl, emotional quotient. If you can get up in the morning and have a conversation with a girl, I think that makes a big difference. I think if she's educated, and a lot of other things too. If she's, I'm actually going to do a video about this one, and it lists all the things on there that we should be looking for in some of these girls. And if you see these qualities, that's the girl for you. And I have a video. I think I'm going to put up this week. I have all the stuff written down to do it. I just have to put it together. So I might be able to answer that one for you, man. Let's see. Sinfuls, I think he's asking for a meet, Steve, as he might be in the area. If you need to meet me, you can email me, steven5975@yahoo.com, and you can ask me for my phone number, either my U.S. phone number or my Philippine phone number, whichever one you want. Brent DeWitt says, what's the cost of dental implants over there? My late wife was Filipino, and she always went to a technician in Das Marinas for her partial because it's cheaper than the dentist. I have a dentist actually in Das Marinas. He's at De La Salle University Hospital, and I'm not sure what it costs there, but he's a lot cheaper than the U.S., a lot cheaper. And everybody I've sent there has pretty much had luck with him, and his wife too. So they're both decent people. And Sinful's put up the email address for you guys. Sean Andrews, what kind of court issues after a breakup? It could be anything. Some of these girls try to do all kinds of stuff to you. It could be any number of things. Harassment, all types of stuff. You never know here. I've seen people go through all kinds of stuff. Unjust vexation, which is like they're fixated on you and they won't leave you alone. Could be they're coming out to your house. They're knocking on your door, trespassing. Could be just about anything. Life is good. I've heard Asians get dewormer from their doctor and take one time a month if they eat pork for good health. No, once a year. The doctors here recommend that you take a dewormer once a year, because I've talked to my doctor about it here, and yes, it's probably worth taking it here for many reasons. Sometimes the food is undercooked or something like that, and taking the dewormer once a year. I take it whether I need it or not, so I talked about that in one of my videos actually. Michael L says, and the deep province girls have more maturity issues than city girls. Yes, they do. They come with a lot of issues because they're very naive, they're not grown up, and people can talk them into doing anything, and some of the other girls will do it just for drama's sake, so you got to be really careful here. And trust me, I hear all the stories here. People call me all the time, Steve, what should I do about this here? And I always turn them to an attorney that I have here, and the attorney works with them. Life is good. Ivermectin is a dewormer. They have another one too. You don't have a name. I don't understand what you're trying to say here. You keep writing this stuff here, and it says it was great and tired of horrible. I don't know what you're trying to write here. You're writing pieces. Sean Andrews, Brent DeWitt from Battle Creek was there over Christmas. Damn cars. The key to success in dating 20 somethings is to be young at heart. Probably. Yeah, that's true. RLV says first PH Cancer Hospital in Arca South to gig. Sinful says in regards to February 22nd, he was asking if chance there will be a meetup lunch so he can join. No, we're gonna have it on the 31st. So I'll repeat that again. 31st at 1:30, Evia Mall. It's just south of Manila, and you go to Evia Mall and you look for Texas Roadhouse, and we'll be sitting there. But let us know if you're gonna go. Terry Roberts, how come I didn't get notified? I haven't let everybody know yet, guys. So if you're on my list, you will get notified. But let me know if you're going or not. So tomorrow I'm going to start notifying people because we are all the way to the 31st. It's going to be the 31st of January, guys. Stephen Thomas, Stephen from Maryland. I'm 68 and Filipina 43, just starting the relationship by being friends, and I find the relationship challenging. Not sure we'll get further along than that stage. That's kind of rough. You know, even some of the older women here can be kind of difficult and immature. People put Filipinas up here from all the stuff that they hear from, you know, people in the military and stuff like that, and you know, Filipinas are wonderful people, but some of them can be very difficult. You know, MF, what's the best dentist in the Philippines? I don't think there is a best dentist, but I use the one in Das Marinas at the hospital there. There's two dentists there. Sean Andrews, so the guys take the girl to court. Yeah, you end up taking the girl to court if she's doing something to you. You have to, and you got to file, and you got to get an attorney to do it. You can use the free attorney if you want. You can actually use the government attorney. Let's see. K Fox, hi Stephen, Happy New Year 2024. Sean Andrews, dewormer for trichina worms in pork. Turbo Chris, good evening to you, Steve. You have good content. Thanks for the good videos. Thank you, man. Sinful says, I'm guessing he will be in the area on February 26th, so he is checking. Joe Cunningham, we're getting a foot of snow here in Pennsylvania. How are you? I'm doing great, Joe. How you doing? Rex Laughlin says, how is the steak at Texas Roadhouse? Great. Their steaks are delicious there. I think everybody will attest to that goes there. Joe Cunningham says, how's the economy over there lately? Economy's doing pretty decent over here. I don't see no problems with the economy over here. You don't have a name, says, I am saying I had a 3.5 year relationship that was constant dollars asked for after halfway. Yeah, that happens with a lot of the women over here, unfortunately, and you know, you got to be careful of that. I'm lucky. I have a decent woman, and she never asked me for money, never ever, you know. And I mean, we're fresh in the relationship. We've been together for a little while now, but I mean, no questions about that, you know. Sinful says, Rex Laughlin, I have had a steak and it's been good. Michael L says the other problem with deep province girls is that they are way too attached to their family and will let the family make decisions for them. I am dating her and not their family. Exactly, Michael. That's the problem. The families get involved and tell her what to do and tell her what to say, and then she starts saying it, and then you need to put a stop. You need to set those boundaries. We've been talking a lot about boundaries this past week and over the past months. A lot of guys don't set the boundaries, and that's the problem. Turbo Chris, what's the percentage of relationships that you see make it to bad relationships that don't? You know, it's probably 50-50, the same as in the United States. It might even be a little bit higher for that matter. I see a lot of people breaking up over here. Not too many people make it the long route here. You know, some people go through, they get married, and then they end up marrying again. We had a guy when I first got here, he ended up with another girl. He went through a divorce, you know. It's hard to say. I'd say it's about 50-50 still. I don't think it's any better over here than the United States. You trade all your issues back home for different issues over here. Let's see, an average Joe's life. Do you think your sweet spot budget will have to go up in 2024? No. I think 2,000 to 3,000, you can still do pretty good over here. I set that budget up so you can pretty much live almost anywhere in Asia on that. You know, you would be tighter in Japan, but there are places in Japan you could live. You could live places pretty much all throughout Asia. There's certainly places and cities that you wouldn't be able to go to. Some of them the rents are really high, but you can pretty much live in almost any Asian country on that. So that's what that was for. You don't have a name. That's huge. Bring a lady to USA. You fund them both here and there. Stephen Thomas, I'll be in Cebu January 29th for 2 weeks. Welcome aboard, Steve. K Fox says, my wife is from Deep Province and I cannot confirm what Michael said. We are married now for 21 years, no problems. Yeah, some of them work out fine. It depends on the makeup of the girl. I mean, but there are some girls that come out of the province and their education level is so poor. They listen to people that are really not good people. And, you know, that's the problem. I've seen many people back in the States that brought the girls back to the States, and the girls get egged on by some American girls or other Filipinas, and it just destroys your marriage. You know, so you just got to be careful. Let's see. Flight of Icarus says, what's up, Steve and everyone? Greetings from Cebu. Jeeves Winston says, hey, what are we doing on this early? Hey, Steve. Sinful says, K Fox, nice. We just celebrated 17 years. Yeah, Sinful's one of the lucky ones. He's been together 17 years. You know? You don't have a name, says, if you marry, then you will still have to send. An average Joe's life, thanks. That is good to know. Life is good, says, woman, location dictates outcomes. Yes, because each island has its own kind of personality, and the girls pick up some of this personality of the island. Some of the girls in one island might be this way, and they might be another way on another island. You know, I mean, each island's different. Like they say, Iloilo is like the city of love. The girls here are really friendly. So I mean, and I think that's kind of true to a certain, you know, it is true, but not with everyone. It's not, you know, but with certain people it is. K Fox says, I believe nowadays people have a different mindset up regarding marriage. Yes. Jeeves Winston, smash that like button, folks. Thank you, guys. Dave Stafford, have flights booked for February 4th, arriving in Manila Tuesday the 6th. Michael L. says, why do Filipino take so long to mature? The 23-year-olds act like they're 13. I think it is the hive mind of the family. I'd agree with that, Michael. I think a lot of the girls here that are very young, they're doing the TikTok thing, even in their 30s. And I've seen women that were even in their like 50s and 60s here, and they got that mentality too. And I'm not sure what's up with that, but you know, you have to really look around and find a mature one that has a good head on her shoulders. Life is good says, my wife from Deep Providence graduated college age 22. She's been in the USA 9 years. Franz Xavier says, hello from San Jose del Monte. Dave Stafford says, meeting with Mary Rose to process our SRV application. All thanks to you, Steve. No problem, man. Let's see. Mike Simpson just woke up. Grab my coffee. Good morning, evening. Lolo's Log says, has anyone been to Siargao? Going there in April. That's where my girlfriend's from. Lolo. She's from Siargao. She says it's nice down there. Flight of Icarus, my real estate broker told me just today, viewing properties, you need to get a virgin from the province and train her and everything. Instructed to groom one. No, that's a mess, man. No, don't do that. I've seen too many people doing stuff like that, and it's sad even watching that. Sinful's Lolo's Log. I've been many places in the Philippines, but yet to Siargao on my list. Michael L. I just traded my 23-year-old for a 36-year-old on my last trip. I just couldn't take the immaturity in the games any longer. That's the problem right there. You don't have a name says, I will be honest. I heard two Filipinos ladies talking here in America. I'm not kidding. This is so true. Lady said to another in my hearing. Okay. Jeeves Winston, winter weather report for New Hampshire and Vermont, south to Route 4, and Lebanon points south, snow advisory 2 to 4 inches. That sounds like fun. We don't hear that here. Life is good. You can't teach a rich Filipino to live poor. No, you cannot. You don't have a name. You're sending me little bits and pieces of your messages, and it's not making sense because we're reading all this other stuff. So I'm going to stop reading that, because it just doesn't make sense. A flight of Icarus. I have good girlfriend that blew my mind, changed my perspective of that brokers. Also, my respect level. Timmy, Michael at Michael L. Silly Sausage. Sinfuls, Jeeves Winston, Yuck, rode my motorcycle to Tal today. That's close. There we go. Let's see. Steve Thomas, you're absolutely right. Setting boundaries is critical right from the start. Definitely. The boundaries, man, got to be set. Jeeves Winston says, Sinful's not fair. Amy bike in the barn until June. John Bergley, yeah. What is the culture for cohabitating without marrying a good lady from the province? I think a lot of people here are okay with that. I mean, most of the expats here live with their girlfriends until they end up getting married, if they get married, and some of them don't. Some of them keep going through girls because they don't last over a year or whatever, or they get on their nerves or something and they move on to another one. Some guys do end up getting married when they find the right one. I mean, I've been lucky with my girl so far, really lucky. I have very few problems. Let's see, you don't have a name. Okay, I was trying to keep them short. Gabriel Laxon, I'm generalizing, but the average foreigners here surround themselves with poor Filipinos. With that comes a lot of baggage. It does. It depends where you live, things like that. But I think you're wrong on that the average foreigners here surround themselves with poor Filipinos. A lot of the expats that I know don't surround themselves with poor Filipinos. It's middle class or up. In this area here, it's probably lower middle class to middle class here in this neighborhood here. There are some poor people here. I live right next to the mayor, so you can't really say that. Gabriel Laxon also says, imagine going to a U.S. trailer park to pick up women and then left wondering why all the headaches. It's you're right. You're right on that. Jeeves Winston says, Steve, I know you stay away from politics, but the Philippines have been in the news with China ramming boats. Can you touch on this? Does it worry Filipinos or expats? I think the Filipinos are worried about that. Hell yeah, I think everybody is because China blames them like the Philippines is on their property or something like that, and it's Philippine property. So it gets out of hand over here, but nobody wants to go up against the dragon. I mean, the Filipinos are getting by with their food and stuff like that to that ship out there. There's all kinds of problems out there with people getting hurt and stuff like that too. Hosed down. Blue Dale says, Steve, what is the current situation there with malaria and dengue fever there in the Philippines? You don't hear that much in my area about malaria or dengue fever. For a while here, we had some problems here where a few people were getting dengue, but we don't hear about that anymore around here, at least in this area. Jeeves Winston, Sinfuls will do. Sinfuls, thanks. We also have out here, we have two bug lights out here that kill all the mosquitoes, and they attract a lot of mosquitoes. Michael L., the best analogy I can think of is dating a poor, young, deep province girl is like a Starfleet officer trying to uplift a peasant farmer. There we go. Michael L. says, the dragon needs to be dealt with before it gets bigger. Yes, definitely. Mike D. says, what is considered middle class for a Filipina? Wow. Anything probably $600 a month or up for that family is considered like lower middle, probably middle class, probably somewhere around middle class. If you make more than that, I did a video on this. If you want to go way back, Mike D, and it breaks it down, and it's in the thumbnail. You'll see it. It's blue, white, and black thumbnail. If you see that, it breaks it down. It's a few years old, but it's still pretty close. Just add like maybe 10% on it. You'll be right there. It'll tell you exactly. John Fetchko, hi Steve from Cocoa Beach. I've been to Cocoa Beach. That's where the Trident sub basin is. Coming to Philippines soon. Terry Roberts says, what's the story with all the sand being dumped in Manila Bay? Yeah, they're trying to make that beach there in Manila Bay, and it's I don't think it's working out too well for them. The beach is not the nicest beach, and that water is not the cleanest water. I would not swim in that water. No way, no how. Just too much stuff going on there. Jeeves Winston, Dragon getting brave with the Russians getting stretched thin. Yes. Sinful says, Mike D, like 50K PH a month for them. Let's see. Flight of Icarus says, malaria is rare. Dengue needs a live carrier in the area. They do pretty well regulating it. Yeah, dengue, no worries. Gabriel Laxon says, at Mike, don't believe those income charts you see online. True middle class has a higher income than those charts suggest. I disagree with that. Because most of the people that live here live on way different levels than we do back in the United States. It's like comparing Mars with Earth. It's so different. I mean, it really is, because we're on the other side of the world. You cannot put the income charts with the United States and say that they're the same. They're way different here in Asia. Each country actually is different. Michael L says there is a rampant respiratory virus going around Luzon. However, it does respond to a mix of ribavirin and Paxlovid. Yeah, there's been a lot of respiratory issues going on around here. I just got rid of mine, I don't know, about 2 or 3 weeks ago or something like that, and finally, I don't have any cough. Gabriel Laxon says 600 is still poor. Come on. No, not here. It's not. It's lower middle class, I think. If I remember correctly on that thing, I believe it's lower middle class. Paul Gibson is on board. It says message retracted. So we don't know what you wrote, Paul. Timmy, $600. Good grief, the poor lambs. Let's see. Sinfuls at Michael L. Tell me about it. Been fighting for a month. Flight of Icarus says, ha ha ha. I'm Mike D2. That's my name on some accounts. Sinful says, not just beach full blown reclamation, Steve. Filling in the bay for more property. Oh yeah, I've seen them doing that. Yeah, I know what you're talking about now. I thought you were talking about the beach right near the embassy there, because I know that they're always dumping sand in there, because it washes away and stuff like that. White Van Man says, what bug lights, Steve? Where do you get them from? They love juicy white meat buggers. Yeah, you can get them at Ace Hardware. You just get those. They got like a UV light on there, like a blue light bulb, and it attracts the bugs and it electrocutes them. Actually have one on out here right now. Jeeves Winston, the trailer park analogy has me thinking. It's apt in many ways. Just had a friend got hit on by a girl at McDonald's, 20 years younger. She liked his truck. We talked about it. It's a risk, definitely. Jimbo L says, I have 2 weeks to go and I'm on a plane. The 31st is the day after my birthday, and I will want a steak. There you go. Let's see. Life is good. A foreigner bought a house. Someone built on my wife's lot. We got a lawyer right away. That happens quite a lot. Jeeves Winston says she wants a better life, but the drama that will probably see me with it. Stars and Stripes. Ever do a video on a 3-week visit to the Philippines for different budgets? No, we don't cover visits. We just cover real living here, pretty much. People have asked me to do like a 2-week budget for a tourist, and so it's impossible to do that because we don't know what you're going to spend. A lot of people travel. Some people don't travel. You can't do that for somebody visiting here. Michael, food is about half the cost of the U.S. Yes, no, I wouldn't say that, Michael. I'd say it's about the same, but they eat the rice diet, Philip Cartmel, maybe some things are cheaper, but some things are more expensive. Philip Cartmel, bank manager here, makes $30K a month. Gabriel Laxon, those income charts are based off multiple of what the poverty line is. The poverty line is $10K a month for a family of 5. Think about it. Michael L. Housing is cheaper, however, fuel and electric is 2 times to 4 times more expensive. Paul Gibson, when renting, would you insist that the place be insured by the owner before moving in so there is no chance to be hit but with any claims? I mean, if you wanted to, I never thought of something like that. You're talking about like lawsuits against you and stuff like that? I suppose you could, but the chance that it happened are pretty slim. Gabriel Laxon, riches 200K. Yeah, I know that, right around there. Look around. You think 4K US dollars a month buys those 2M SUVs and Western style homes, private schools, etc.? Oh, it's definitely different over here, Gabriel. You know, definitely different. This is what I'm saying. But 200K over here is different because you're living in Asia. You don't have, people don't have the United States needs and wants. I mean, there's a difference between the needs and wants. You know, and Americans are spoiled in a lot of ways. I mean, even the people that I've seen people driving Cadillac Escalades that were on welfare back in Lawrence, Massachusetts, and not just a few of them, a lot of them. So, I mean, that tells you something right there. Michael L., a programmer, makes about 30K to 50K PH a month here. Gabriel Laxon, true middle class in the Philippines own their own business. They don't work for others, in my opinion. I mean, we could break it down 10 different ways, but, you know, it's not going to change what they say about it. You know, I mean, it's just that's what they break it down as, and you know, they break it down the same way they do in the United States. Poverty in the United States is different than over here. There's people that are homeless in the United States that get $1,000 a month and live on the streets. Think about that for a second. And over here, you can have a house and live well. So there is a huge difference. Even on 500, you could still have a house over here, $60 home. You might not and have a fan and a bed, and you know, still live pretty decent. Sinful says Gabriel Lax, and also the bigger type homes have many family members living and contributing to the household. Michael L says when I am there, I will eat half Filipino and half Western. I eat almost all Western. You know, Flight of Icarus. I hired 2 cleaners after some construction I had done recently. One offered me a massage, 200 pesos for 2 hours, 200 pesos more for special service. I was like, how about I tip you anyway? No other service. Let's see, we're up to about 31 minutes here. We've got 94 people on board tonight. That's really good. PJ says, thank you for answering the email about PTSD and the VA care. You're exactly right. You show boundaries to all your subscribers. You definitely have to have boundaries. I couldn't say that enough here in the Philippines, man, because you're going to run into people here that will walk all over you if you don't have any. Life is good. In the USA, people take a aspirin right away after a stroke for better recovery. Philippines don't. I disagree with you on that. If you go to the hospital here and you're having a stroke here, they do make you take aspirin. And I remember when I was having a heart attack in the United States, the nurses were giving me aspirin left and right, chewable. Dutch, good evening from Southern California. Hoping you and yours are good tonight. Rex Laughlin says, Trailer Park Girls make the world go round. I thought that was Fat Bottom Girls. According to Queen, anyway. Philip Cartmel says, Paul Gibson, take pictures before you move in. Jeeves Winston, my kid just graduated with her RN, recruited before she took her license exam with the mass shortage. I would think there would be companies cultivating Filipino RN students. I'm sure they are. Jeeves Winston says, and bringing them into the U.S. The average Joe's life says, message retracted. Michael L says, Steve is pronounced Icarus. Okay. Sinfuls. I always mispronounce stuff, man. So I'm gonna have to apologize for that, but that's just the way I am. Sinfuls, I eat almost all Western, but I definitely like the lumpia, lechon, and adobo. Michael L, lechon. Adam Kidd, hello from Thailand. How you doing, Adam Kidd? Let's get some more questions on here. We got 92 people on here. We should have all kinds of questions here. We should be backed up, and we're right at the bottom here. So let's get some more on here. Also, well, we got people on here. We got a lot of people on here. If any of you guys are looking for retirement visas, let me just talk about this for a second. You can contact me at steven5975@yahoo.com, and I can hook you up with Mary Rose if any of you guys are interested out there. JC in the USA, and it's free. She does not charge anything, so keep that in mind. JC in the USA, for those visiting, set up a Remitly account before leaving home. Get a VPN, and you can send yourself money as needed while you're in the Philippines. It has worked well for me. One guy was telling me the way he does it is he moves money from his bank account to his PayPal account to his Gcash account. That's what he told me. I found that quite interesting. I haven't tried that because I don't have a Gcash account, but that's the way he gets his money into the country. Flight of Icarus, no worries on the Icarus, on the name commonly misunderstood by some. Icarus, okay, there we go. We're getting it. Sinful Steven5975 at yahoo.com. Frank Klutz says, Steve, how much you average month on food just for you? Wow, that's a tough one because I go out to eat a lot because I'm on a higher budget. Um, I wouldn't even venture to guess. We usually have like 200 a month for home, but I usually end up spending about 250 or 300, and then we go out to eat a lot too. So I don't know, probably 600 a month or more, 700, somewhere around there. You know, because we do go out to eat, and we like to eat steak, and we order pizza and stuff like that. John Fetchko says, I love Sig Sig. JC in the USA, thank you, Stephen, for helping me get my SRIV. John. No problem, John. Jamie, are you also a veteran? Yes. I'm a submariner cook. Life is good. I told a Filipina P YouTuber that a Harvard medical school instructor says, Martha Stout, 1 in 25 Americans has no conscience. She said Philippine people might be higher. I don't know if I don't no conscience is pretty bad. I see some people, Americans, that have no conscience over here with some of the things they do. And you'd be surprised. I run into a lot of them here. And trust me, there's a lot of people here that have no conscience what they do to some people. Mike Simpson, do many expats ride bicycles, or is it risking your life? I wouldn't ride a bike around here. Not here. I know that that Sinfuls does. Sinfuls rides a bike because where he lives, it's much easier to ride a bike. Actually, it'd be nice to be able to ride a bike where he's at, but it must be hot during the day. See, Flight of Icarus says, it's a joke name anyway. I tell people I have new and improved Kevlar composite wings, lol. Mr. Big Slick 66. See if it's easy to get the same medications in the PI as the States. I know the prices are better, correct? The prices are better on some things and they're higher on other things, and some medications are impossible to get. Even though your doctor will write you out the prescription because you ask them for it, you could go to almost every pharmacy around here and they don't have it. And I'm actually in the middle of looking for a blood pressure medicine right now that's almost impossible to get in the Philippines, and I'm having a hard time, so I put my doctor on it to help me find it, because I want that blood pressure medicine, because it's a really good blood pressure medicine. Sinful says, Mike Simpson, I ride my area where I live, but I live in much more open area with far less traffic. He lives in a really nice area, Sinfuls does. Dutch says, Steve, do you know how long a 20-foot container take to go through customs in the Philippines? No, I do not. I know that we've had people, one guy was talking to me about this, and he said his container sat on the dock for like about a month and a half, so before he got it. Let's see. Sinful says, Mr. Slick 66, yes, you can, and yes, they are generally cheaper. Dave Stafford says, I use Wise to move money. Only drawback is it has to go into a bank account. No cash pickup, but rates are mid-rate and fees are super competitive. And Mike Simpson says, thanks, Sinfuls. I like to ride for exercise. I actually like to ride a bike too, but I haven't bought a bike over here because of where I live. I suppose I could ride a bike around the park or something like that, but the park isn't really that great for bike riding in there. It's too small. Adam Kidd says, I have an international Charles Schwab account that reimburse ATM fees. Bank transfers are fairly easy. Charles Schwab, if they find out that you're living over here, they'll close down your account, because Ameritrade was run by Charles Schwab, and they closed down a lot of accounts over here in the Philippines within the past 2 years. I was one of them. Michael L., how does an American get a verified GCash account? If you start the process and enter any nationality besides Filipino, it won't let me complete the sign up. I don't know, because I've never done that GCash. I never believed in that stuff, because if you leave your money in there over 3 or 4 months, they can take it away. Read the agreement. It says that. Flight of Icarus. I ride my motorbike here. Mike Simpson. It's fine if you're cautious, but now how to evade situations with throttling. Flight of Icarus. No. Sinfuls has actually been really nice in the day here lately, dry and cool. We've been getting the same thing, Sinfuls, over here. You can actually sit outside and right in the direct sun, and it's not that bad out here. Pooping while standing is back, and He says, I've heard Schwab is cracking down on those who live permanently overseas. True, yes. Yep, I was one of them. Mike D. Sinfuls, what city are you in? I am looking for a really nice place, maybe with a pool. His place, Mike, his place does have a pool, and it's actually nice, and they have smaller rentals there too. I don't know what they would go for, but they're beautiful places. Sinful says, Flight of Icarus, yes, agree on motorbike riding. Stay away from traffic as much as you can. Michael L., new Kevlar wings are better than Daedalus wings. Sinful says, Mike D., I am in New Valley in Laguna. His area is really spread out, and you can definitely ride a bike there with no problem. Paul Gibson says, here in Australia, every year you must do a tax return no matter who you are or what your circumstances are. Is this the same in the Philippines? I do my taxes back home. I send all my stuff back, or I do it on H&R Block. This year here, I'm going to send it right to H&R Block and have them do it. I've never done taxes. I've done taxes for the, actually I have done taxes for the Philippines, and I closed out the thing because I found out I didn't have to pay taxes here. I'm still actually dealing with that. Flight of Icarus, Michael L. I used my passport and license, went right through, verified. Let's see, Jeeves Winston, does the Philippines have government safe injection sites? Free boopy and methadone, welfare checks, hotel vouchers, let child touching felons walk around freely. It's a lot different over here. I don't even know how to address that because you got a lot of stuff on there. Methadone clinics, no. No safe injections. They don't have all that stuff here. No. Geez, Winston, sorry, so sick of this place. Adam Kidd, an international card can be used all over the world. Mark Richard, good morning, everyone. Stephen Thomas, I'm considering even going to Vietnam or Thailand for locations to locate to. My first trip is to the Philippines, but I hear they are even better for traveling and cultural experience. Sinful's, my Charles Schwab banking account has stayed open. I no longer have a trading account. If you don't have the trading account, they usually won't flag you. I do know that. Jeeves Winston says, Stephen Thomas, seems you go to the PH for the people, TH for the infrastructure. Lazy Larry Lee is on board. He says, hello, Stephen Sinfuls. How you doing, Larry? Sinful says, hi, Larry. Mike D, are you able to pay your rent up front for the entire year? Yes, you can. I've done it. That's not a problem here. They'll love you for that. But if you run into a problem where you need something fixed, then, you don't have any leverage. So I used to recommend you can look at that two different ways. If you pay in advance, you can usually have them knock a month off or something like that. And sometimes 2 months if you're lucky. That's one way of doing it, okay? But the problem is that if you run into problems with the roof leaking or something like that, or something breaks, and they don't fix it, you have nothing to negotiate with because they have all your money already for the whole year, so they're not going to care. Wayne Gruber says, which bank, if not Charles Schwab? I've been asked that question a lot, Wayne, and I wouldn't even go to answer. They have international. I will say this: they have international accounts at some of these places, and those are the ones you have to open. And most of them want $75,000 or more. And then when you open that, you can live almost anywhere in the world, from what I understand. Simple says, Mike D, yes, you can. And in doing that, you can get a discount. William, do you still file state taxes? No, I do not. You don't have to. I don't have a state that I belong to anymore. If you don't have a state anymore, you don't file state taxes. Bobcat Bro, question, why can't a person ship a car to the Philippines? Any opinions? You're better off, with all the costs that it costs, all the fees and stuff that you end up paying, you're better off buying a car over here. And you can find decent cars over here. Gabriel Laxon says, Mike, I wouldn't suggest doing that. For what reason? To get a better deal? It depends, let me say this. It depends where you live. If you live in an upscale home and you can save a month, and it's a lot of money, it might be worth it in the long run, especially if the house is almost brand new. If it's an older home and it might need fixing and something might end up going on it, then I probably wouldn't do that. And you might end up wanting to move during that time unless you signed some sort of 1-year lease. If you signed a lease, it really doesn't matter at that point. Sinfuls, at Wayne Gruber, I use USAA. Flight of Icarus, I pay in 6 months or 1 year installments, but very cautious and read the contract. Definitely read the contracts on these leases, okay? Because there could be things in there. Mark Richard, Gcash works great. I'm in Michigan and I send the Philippines, and no one leaves money in Gcash. No, that's the point of Gcash is they need the money to use that day. No pawn shop to deal with. Yeah, Gcash, you don't want to let money sit in there. Do not let money sit in there at all. If you forget, like if you don't use it for 3 months, they're gonna take it. Flight of Icarus also asks for up to 20% discount for cash now. Yes, you can get it. You can usually get 10 to 20% discount off of if you pay up front. Sometimes more. It depends on the person. If you think that they're overcharging you because you're if it's a skin tax thing and they're overcharging you, you can definitely talk them down. Jeeves Winston 99. We need one more. We're up to 104 now with 46 thumbs up, guys. Hit that thumbs up. Sinful says Bob Kevlar it is very expensive due to import fees and must be newer vehicle. Also, you can end up paying a lot of bribe fees. Mr. Big Slick 66. Thanks, Sinfuls. New Valley noted. We're probably looking into living in Laguna. I visited there 15 years ago. Sinful says you're welcome. Jeeves Winston 100. Damn Car says there's lots of advantages to going home every 6 months. Charles Schwab account stays open. Checkup from U.S. doctor. Lower cost meds and Medicare Advantage plan reimburses emergency med. You're right. There are some advantages to going home every 6 months, but it does get very, very expensive. If you most of the guys in the Philippines do not have budgets for that, though, unfortunately. Flight of Icarus, even if you're on a higher budget, that could kill you if you leave every 6 months. Flight of Icarus, put the repairs and incidentals into the contract on them. I do. It's insulating. Adam Kidd, having a home base overseas, you can travel the surrounding countries fairly cheap. Definitely. You can get a good place here, in this area here, furnished for like 140, 120 US dollars or cheaper. Life is Good says I've heard when you buy a SIM card, the seller can keep the box and steal your Gcash account. I'm not so sure about that. I don't know what to say about that one. Life is Good. I haven't heard that one. MF says you look like Richard Dreyfuss. Maybe I could do Jaws 5. Let's see. Gilligan in the Philippines. Apparently, once in the Philippines, over 2 months, you can get an ACR card to open a bank account. Yes, you can. And it depends on the bank. Some banks, they give you a really, really hard time. So if you don't find that they will open your account at one bank, go to another. Because some banks will just tell you they don't open to expats, and they won't. Because usually the managers are not well trained. Mark Richards says, I wonder if with all the U.S. military buildup in the Philippines, if the U.S. government will consider letting U.S. citizens use their Medicare. They're actually talking about that right now. So that is, we had this guy, Jackson, Senator Jackson, I think it was, or Congressman Jackson, back home. One of the guys was working with him, and that's being worked on. It's actually getting some traction now, because I'm hearing it on regular news. And yes, I think we might end up getting Medicare outside of the country. Jeeves Winston, you don't have a state. Steve, you didn't keep a driver's license or any foothold in the U.S. state. That comment makes me think I don't have a state. I left Massachusetts and I have no intention of going back. So why would I keep a license or anything? I have a Philippine license. I'm a Philippine resident. Why would I pay Massachusetts taxes if I'm not getting any benefits from back there? So I do not file any state taxes because I don't have to have a state to be a U.S. citizen. Jeeves Winston, me think. Let's see. Flight of Icarus, there's some talk of PI becoming a U.S. territory with the new joint force stuff. That would be a massive change if it comes out of Washington. That will never ever happen. It will just never happen. Trust me on that one. The Filipinos would never let it happen because that would be a huge step backwards. I've never heard any talk of that at all. Not in any news, and I see a lot of news. I'm not sure where you heard that. If you have something like that, send it to me because there's no talk over here that would be front page news. Sinfuls, Jeeves Winston, even if you have a state license, if you are out of the country for more than 330 days a year, then you don't need to file state taxes due to non-residency. Yes, but if you don't live there at all, you definitely don't have to pay. If you go home and you're just moving around the country or something, or if you're just visiting for what. Wandering Wolf, what is the biggest difference between Filipino women and American women? Wow, that's a good question. I think Filipino women are more loving towards a man. They're kinder, sweeter. Um, they definitely have a tough side too. Um, if they stay here in the Philippines, they're more likely to. I would say that they're more likely to stay with you longer than an American woman. I could touch on a lot of things on that. They're just different. They're much kinder, you know, pleasers. I would say that they want to please you more so than an American woman. American woman could care less. Jeeves Winston, at least some of them. I won't say all of them because that's not true. Jeeves Winston, when did you feel comfortable enough to cut all ties to a state? As soon as I got here. As soon as I got here, I wanted to cut all ties with Massachusetts as soon as I could. I think the first taxes that I filed, I did have to file because I had 3 months in the state, and after that, I never filed again. Mark Richard, many credit unions will reimburse you ATM fees, including mine in Michigan. Yes, I have Metro Credit Union up in Massachusetts, and they reimbursed me today $22. So, John Fetchko, what's required for entry nowadays? I think you have to do that e-travel pass. That's about that e-travel thing, and that's about it. And then any customs forms. Dutch, smash the like button. Throw the man a bone. So we got 54 thumbs up, guys. 95 people on board. Terry Robbs, Gilligan. That depends if tourists hard to open a bank account. Let's see. Paul Gibson's message retracted. Sinfuls. John Fetchko, you will need a passport valid beyond 6 months. Yes, that's true. And a return trip ticket. That's another thing that you need too. I forgot about that. The return trip ticket or an onward ticket is good enough. So I rather say, sometimes I say onward ticket. For some of you guys coming in here that are going to stay long term, you can just get a ticket to Singapore and that's good enough, which is like 75 or $50. Mike D says, are the banks in the Philippines FDIC insured? They're not FDIC insured. They're something else, but they are insured. But it's much less than the U.S. Adam Kidd, I was lucky that my wife already owned her house in Thailand. Craig Jordan, Flight of Icarus, the Philippines returning to a U.S. territory is highly skeptical. I think that's impossible. It would never happen again. Flight of Icarus in the United States is having its own issues. Never mind worrying about the Philippines with all that, with the amount of people here. Standard on banking here is to have 120 days remaining on your visa. Same with license or have been here 1 year plus. Sinfuls, Mike D. Yeah, usually it's like 100. Let's see. I'm not sure. That's not always true, Flight of Icarus, because the banks here are really whacked out on who they'll let open an account and not. It depends which bank you go to. Maybe that's what most banks want, but I mean, from what I see here, they want all kinds of stuff, and they give a lot of the expats a hard time. The BDO over here in Mangahan and General Trias, man, they give people a real hard time over there. Let's see. Sinful says, Mike D, Philippine FDIC only insured to 500K PHP or about 10K USD. I don't think they call it FDIC though, do they, Sinfuls? I think they call it something else. Maybe they do, but I don't think it's FDIC. It's something like the FDIC though. Paul Gibson, Bobcat Bro, wouldn't it be cool to cruise around the Philippines in a Bel Air or Impala? John Fetchko says, what about vax for entry and health pass? I think they're pretty much done with that by now. Not so crazy, John. Hi, Steve. Sinfuls. John Fetchko. Yes, you would need e-trial. I would take your vaccination cards with you. I think they might. I'm not sure if they asked for that on the e-travel thing. They might still ask for it. I'm not sure. I'm not really up on that. Somebody else on here might know. Yeah, but you definitely like John Fetchko, yes, you would need e-travel. Jamie, I'm a veteran and have many questions before moving there permanently. Can I email you? Um, yes, you can email me at steven5975 at yahoo.com. Okay, you can ask my phone number if you want to call me, my U.S. number, or you can ask my Philippine number, whichever one you want. Sinful says John Fetchko, and he puts down the e-travel thing there. Sinfuls, in regards to e-travel, don't fall for the fake apps or links that want to charge. There is no charge for e-travel. Correct. Flight of, I heard that already. There are some fake things out there. Flight of Icarus says, I hang out with a lot of contractors and active duty military that have been moved here recently. Probably just a rumor, but the bases are ramping up again on transient status like before. Yeah, I heard that there's lots of people coming over here. They're coming over. Actually, when I was up at the airport one time, there was a bunch of young guys getting off the plane that were like 17 to 30, and it wasn't for church, for a missionary group or something like that. You could tell that they had all kinds of sea bags and stuff like that. So interesting to find out what they're here for. Hiding in the Philippines, I'm sure some of them were Navy guys. Good morning, sir. My 3 months in the Philippines starts next Wednesday. I have gleaned so much useful info. Thank you again. No problem, man. Mr. Big Slick 66 says, Steve, someone asked before how you decided to live in Tracy Martinez. Didn't you live in Mindoro before? No, I never lived in Mindoro before. Never, ever. Nope. I hear Mindoro is a good place to live, though. I've heard that from a couple of my friends that are over there. I have 2 people out there that contact me every once in a while. I haven't talked to them in over a year. But I had one out there, and he ran a scuba diving place. MF says, have you paid any taxes in the Philippines? Yes, I have. I thought I had to pay taxes originally on something, and I didn't have to. I found out I didn't have to pay taxes. And I found out through the Philippine Retirement Authority, who set me straight. Sinfuls, Jamie, yes, email him at steven5975 at yahoo.com. Internet Explorer, have you ever been to Guam since it is so close to the Philippines? No. I haven't been to Guam. I'd like to go to Guam, though, and I may put that on my list someday. My godfather was actually stationed over there, and he just passed away like about 2 months ago, month to 2 months ago. He was 99 and 10 months. So, he was pretty close to hitting 100. And he was telling me a story that after the war, there was still a Japanese soldier, or more than one Japanese soldier, on the island that used to shoot at the Jeeps once in a while when they were going by. So he used to have some interesting stories. Sinfuls, he puts e-travel on there. Sinfuls, actually, it is PDIC insured, but again, only 5. Yeah, I knew it was something else, something different. Neil Williams, what about the 1040 federal income taxes? I just came on, so only caught the tail end of that conversation. Yeah, you do have to fill out your federal income taxes always. Sinful says, go to China Bank, not owned by China, but owned by BDO, but completely different mentality. Actually, I never thought of that, of recommending that. I should start recommending China Bank rather than BDO. China Bank is a really, really good bank, and it's not owned by China. It's actually partially owned by BDO, but it's actually run way better than BDO is. Blue Dale says, I watched the advertisements on your full channel to help support your great work, Steve. Thank you, man. I appreciate that, Blue Dale. Sinfuls, I just flew back in November and no vaccination requirements on e-travel. So that's all done then. Michael L says, all you need is e-travel, and it no longer asks for your vaccination status. Just answer no to the question about being sick in the last 30 days. Gilligan in the Philippines, I asked at BPI, and the manager said, yes, if you get your ACR card, went to local immigration office, they said, I have a 1-year visa, married, need to go to Manila, get voluntary ACR. Okay. Neil Williams, I have an account in dollars with PNB, which I use to transfer my visa deposit of $1,500 expanded courtesy SRRV visa. Let's see. Stephen Thomas says, I am a cancer survivor, happy with my free care here in the USA, 100% cured, but still cost each year to maintain is $200K yearly the rest of my life. I'll just make trips 6 months or less back to the USA. We actually have a lot of cancer survivors over here, which is kind of interesting. We've run into quite a lot lately. I've run into, wow, I'd probably say, like, it seems like lately about maybe 15%. Now that you mention it. Terry Roberts, I transfer my Aussie account to my girlfriend account, saves 250 pesos withdrawal fee. Sinful says, Steve Thomas, congrats, and I know the feeling as well. Just went back in September for a surgery. Steve, FTN, LOL, thanks, man. Michael L, Guam is more expensive than Singapore and not as much fun. I heard it's pretty expensive, yeah. Jeeves Winston, I trained with a couple of folks from Guam. It seemed very expensive. Flight of Icarus, I only go to Guam for U.S. territory matters that can't be handled via satellite. That's interesting. Steve, let's see, we got a guy in here. Steve, you got a good channel with good content. Thank you. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Neil F. Williams, I just retired from Guam May 23rd and left September 23rd. John Fetchko says, videos of Guam show very high prices, but they have a commissary. Yes, they do. One thing over in Guam also is the rents are super high, and they do have some really bad areas where there's theft and stuff like that goes on over there. So it's not really as great as some people say over there. Even though you're paying out more, you think you're gonna live better, but it's not true. Jeeves Winston says, Icarus, you can get done. What can you get done in Guam? Wayne Gruber says, I heard that China Bank gives better exchange U.S. dollars to pesos. I heard that too. And there's another bank, Bank of Commerce or something like that, I think it is. The one that we use for the PRA. It's either Commerce Bank or Bank of Commerce. They give good rates there too. The Flight of Icarus says, divorce is one thing Guam is good for, or military IDs direct. They can do it in Manila at times. Steve says, what does the VA offer care in Guam? I heard they just have a clinic there. That's what I heard. I could be wrong on that. I'm not up on Guam, but somebody told me that they send people to the military hospital over there, and they also have FMP. Flight of Icarus, MTF is available in Guam. Steve, CB's 82 to 86. So you were in there when I was in there. Flight of Icarus, military treatment facility. Okay. Michael L, Flight of Icarus, what is MTF? Military treatment facility. Michael, okay. Thank you for the explanation. Steve, is Guam non-service related healthcare? I believe it's the same as Manila. I could be wrong on that. I really don't know enough about Guam to even comment on that. You know, from what I've heard, I believe that they have a clinic and not a hospital there. And they do have a hospital, and they send people out to the hospital, and I think FMP covers it there too. And I believe they have a military hospital there that works with veterans over there too. I know that they have a lot of I won't say expats over there, because they're not expats when they're living in Guam, but they have a lot of people that are retired over there. So you can go online. I'm sure you can look up Guam VA clinic or hospital, because I think it's just a clinic. I think it's a little bit better than the Manila clinic, though, from what I heard. So, but the Manila clinic is not as bad as they make it out to be, because you have FMP here and hospitals that will cover you on the FMP, and they'll pay it. There's a lot of people here that have TRICARE too. You know, MTF will treat anyone retired just as the U.S. Okay. Well, most of the guys aren't retired. A lot of them are disabled vets, or just people that were in the military, just veterans. FMP works anywhere nearly. Yes, you are correct. But usually you have to pay the bill up front, and a lot of people don't have the money to pay that bill up front. But there are FMP hospitals in the Philippines. I believe there's 4 of them that will wait for FMP to be reimbursed them. So keep that in mind. Mark Richard, is China Bank everywhere like BDO? Yes, they're all over the place. I'm not sure how many of the islands they're on, but they're all over on Luzon. Flight of Icarus, up to 20% copay, not always the full rate. Dave Stafford, what is FMP? Foreign Medical Plan. You can actually look that up online. Foreign Medical Plan, the VA Foreign Medical Plan. I believe it's in Colorado. Sinful's got up the thing there for Government Pacific Islands, so for the VA. So you can check on that, and that'll probably give you all the information you need. Flight of Icarus, DAV 100% is good enough. But if you're in the Philippines, 100%, they're only going to treat you for your service connections. There's a lot of people here that think because they're 100% of their problems are going to get treated here. It's a clinic, number one, and they're not going to cover anything that's not service connected. You know, Max Spelling says, "Hey, thanks for your time. I have a VA medical for life. Can I be treated in Manila? Only for service connections again, Mac. Okay, so just be aware of that." Neil F. Williams, even the prices at the commissaries in Guam are expensive. Orote NB and the Anderson Air Force Base just retired from commissary plus military retired. Sinfuls, Max Spelling through FMP only. FMP only does service connections also. So, you know, what they can't treat at the clinic, you can get treated through FMP if it's service connected. Flight of Icarus only for service connected at Mac. Yes. Ride for Life, Fit for Life. U.S. Air Force active duty 6 years, 88 to 94. Rex Laughlin, message retracted. It says, Steve, do you use FMP? I'm about to. Okay, I have not used FMP. I could have used it, but the bills were so low. I just figured I'm not going to submit it because it was a pain in the butt. But yes, I'm actually going to be working with FMP, and you just reminded me I have to make a phone call tonight probably to them because I have to get a letter from them, which I had somewhere around the house, but I don't know what happened to it. John Fetchko, I was told as soon as I land in Manila, TRICARE becomes my primary. There's TRICARE hospitals here too, John, so you can look into those. I'm not up on TRICARE at all, so TRICARE is a whole ball of wax by itself. Neil F. Williams, U.S. Naval Hospital is good enough. I had surgery on foot for skin cancer removal there in March 23rd. Mr. Big Slick says, is there any way around buying a two-way ticket coming to the PI? Does an SRRV change this? Yes. The SRRV changes that. You do not have to buy an onward ticket. You don't have to buy a two-way ticket. You can buy an onward ticket to a cheap destination. But the SRRV does stop that. And if you're at military, it's only $10 a year, and it's just $3,000 in the beginning. $1,400 your application fee, and then $1,500 goes into a security deposit, which you get back if you leave. Jeeves Winston was at Fort Drum recently. Other than a tax break, the PX wasn't the deal. It used to be. Class 6 could get cheaper booze at New Hampshire liquor store. Let's see. Neil F. Williams, my TRICARE OS took care of all of it. Neil F. Williams, pharmacy was free. Sinfuls, Mr. Big Slick 66. By the way, buy a one-way to the Philippines, then buy an onward ticket to Singapore. There we go. That's what I... Flight of Icarus. I use the FMP, MTF, TRICARE for Life, which is Signa Humana. Rex Laughlin, what do the guys do when they cannot take care of themselves anymore? Are there nursing homes? Yes, there's absolutely nursing homes over here. There's all kinds. You can actually hire a nurse to live at your house if you wanted to. Flight of Icarus, payback is anywhere from 2 weeks to 90 days or so. Michael L says, Steve C, what is the BP med that is not available? It begins I don't have the name of it right here. It's begins with REV or something like that, and it's supposed to mimic anti-aging or something, like when you starve yourself, it mimics that, and it also helps with your blood sugar too. And it's very hard to get over here. I don't even know if you can get it in the United States. I can't remember the name. I don't have it around here right now. Otherwise, I'd pull it out and show you. If you contact me on email, I'll get back to you with that if you want to know it. Steve, so FMP is non-service related. No, it's service connected. Service connected. It has to be service connected to be FMP. They don't, if in other words, if the clinic here won't do it, because they can't do it, they're not able to help because it is just a clinic. So if you need an operation or something like that, FMP picks up, okay, and you will go to a regular hospital. Now there's like 3 or 4 hospitals in the Philippines that you don't have to pay up front. You can just go there and get the operation or whatever you need, and they get reimbursed by FMP. If you go to a different hospital of your choice, then you're going to have to front the bill and then put it into FMP. Michael, can I use my HSA account while I am overseas for medical expenses? I'm not sure. I'm not that familiar with the HSA account. Sinful's expats may not contribute to the HSAs if they maintain only a foreign health insurance policy. The good news is you can still use HSA funds for qualified medical expenses outside the U.S. Okay, so Sinfuls knows about that. That's good. Let's see. Ride for life, fit for life. What is the youngest age you can get an SRRV? 50. Do you need to be retired? Yes. Or can you be working? You could probably, you should be retired. You need to at least have a pension and show that you have a pension of $1,000 or more. But you could probably still be working. That's not a problem. Sinfuls, ride for life, fit for life, age 50 for SRRV. Neil Williams, buy a rent a ticket for your return and cancel it before you leave. Vagabond Awake has details on this. Ride for life. Thank you, Sinfuls. Can I do that in Los Angeles, or do I need to be in Philippines? Sinfuls. Neil F. Williams. I did a rent-a ticket for my return in November, but was never asked in San Francisco or Taiwan for it. But from Taiwan, I had my wife for Balikbayan. Flight of Icarus says I do booking within 24 hours of arrival. Eat the insurance for like $15 and immediately cancel my onward if not planning to use it. Let's see. Sinful's ride for life. You need to be here to complete your SRV. Yes, that's correct. Michael L. If you do the 20K US dollar option, no pension required. Nope, you are correct, Michael. Not too many people do that though. Some do. There's a few people that have done it, but not many do. Steve, okay, I will do my homework. Obviously, medical care would always be important. Always be prepared. So we're up to about 71 minutes, and we're at the end of the string here. We're at 87 people, 69 thumbs up. And I'm going to end it here because I'm a little bit tired tonight, and I got some things going on tomorrow, and I got to make some phone calls. But Michael L. says, again, BOI has direct access to the Sabre database, so I don't rent a ticket. But anyway, guys, God bless. Take care. I want to thank Michael and Sinfuls both for helping out tonight. And we will be back on next Saturday probably. If I'm not on here next Saturday, I'll be on the Saturday after, because sometimes I like to take a night off or whatever, or something's going on. Sinful says, I just bought a MaxiCare e-card. Actually, MaxiCare is a good thing. Let me finish this off with that. There's a lot of cards over here you can buy for outpatient and inpatient. And Sinful's brought this up to me, and I've been looking into this more lately, and some of them are pretty decent. Let's see, for 5K PHP for emergency care, up to 50K PHP in confinement in private room if necessary. And 50K, it's not a lot, but let's see, wait. Yeah, 50,000 PHP is not a lot, but I mean, at least if you're in there for a few days or whatever, it'll help you. But it's good to have some really good insurance over here, and Pacific Cross is the one that we recommend. If you guys ever want to look into Pacific Cross, Michael Onstad, Onstad. Okay, Mike Simpson says, have a good evening, Steve. Later, Steve. Thank you for your time. Lazy Larry, bye, everyone. Hi, do I have to keep my foreign passport updated after I get the SRV and do not want to leave the Philippines? Yes, you do, unfortunately. Okay, you do have to keep your passport, and they'll move it over, and it costs $75 to move it over to your new passport. So then it's good for another 10 years or whatever. Flight of Icarus later, guys. Thank you, guys. And we'll see all you guys later. Okay, we'll see you probably in about a week. If not next week, the week after. But most likely we'll be on next week. God bless, guys. Thanks, everyone.